In this two-part series, you'll learn how to improve personal development and achieve the life you want. Hi, I'm Jeshua.
And I'm Takara.
From Magnificent You. There are two fundamental aspects of your life that you must master. We'll talk about the first one right now.
Indeed. So the first thing that we want to share is a quote. This is by Bruce Lee. And it says that emotions can be the enemy. If you give in to your emotions, you lose yourself. You must be at one with your emotions because the body always follows the mind. Okay? Really important concept.
Yes, in fact, it is very important. It's extremely important, and we'll learn from Elsie Lincoln Benedict that if we would remake our lives, we have only to remake our predominant moods. Now, what that means is the moods that you have most of the time, the predominant ones, because your predominant moods make your predominant life.
Yeah.
Because even though we are not our emotions, we exist in those emotions all the time. Now, if you're not sure what a mood is, it's just the emotions that you're feeling at any given time. So it's pretty straightforward to understand that if your predominant mood is a happy, enthusiastic, go-getter attitude, you're probably going to have a pretty successful life.
Right.
But if your predominant emotion that you exist in all the time or most of the time is anxiety or depression or, just the, not necessarily the clinical versions, but like the fear and sadness.
Right. And worry. And you're constantly frustrated with your spouse, your job, your kids. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. If you're constantly upset about something, then of course your life isn't going the way you want it to go, because if you're upset, that's what's taking all of your focus.
Indeed.
So.
All right.
So, the concept of top-down versus bottom-up in this context is a bit different than what you've probably experienced before, but the top-down is kind of like the willpower, where a lot of people will try through a top-down willpower process to just grit it out, do it anyway, doesn't matter, what you're feeling, you're just gonna do it. Some people can do that. At a certain level of the mastery of your predominant moods, you can do that, but it takes a long time to get there.
Right.
And one of the interesting things that was brought to my attention by Dr. Andrew Huberman is that it is extremely hard to top-down control your emotions, especially if it's a strong one like fear or anger, where it's just your survival response is kicking in, telling you, your brain is telling your body, okay, danger, it's time to do something right now. It's really hard to just, sit there and focus and calm it down. So one thing that we've recently, I don't know how recently, discovered a great way to, especially with anxiety or fear, heightened heart rate, adrenaline response, is the double inhale, exhale, or physiological sigh breath, which is going to be a... So one strong inhale, and then take a gasp of as much else as you can, just filling your lungs as completely as you possibly can, and then slow exhale through the mouth. And try it yourself sometime if you're feeling anxious or scared or whatever. Doing it a few times can really calm you down dramatically. And that is because it's called the physiological sigh for a reason. And it's actually the sigh that we do when falling asleep, as well as if you've been doing an extremely strong bout of crying, you will do this physiological sigh just on reflex.
Right.
And so it's just deeply seated into our nervous system that it's an extremely effective way to calm yourself quickly from a almost bottom-up type idea, rather than bottom-down, just my mind will stop my body from freaking out.
And something else with breathing and breath, okay? If you've ever taken yoga classes or you've done some meditation or anything, what you'll learn is breathing from your belly, okay? And breathing from your belly means that when you breathe in a big breath, you're not expanding your lungs and your shoulders move up. You're putting your hand on your belly, and as you breathe in, it actually pushes your hand out. And what that does is it fills oxygen, it fills air into the whole lungs, not just the top of the lungs, which is how most Westerners breathe.
Yes, a lot of us breathe, shoulder breathe or chest breathe. If you look at animals of any kind, if you look at children,
babies, right?
If you look at Easterners, often they have breath work stuff just integrated into their lives, and so all of them, they do the stomach breathing, and it's much more effective.
And it's very calming, and it's very grounding, and it has a lot of benefits. So those are a couple of things that we've already told you about how to control your emotions and to have them even out and stabilize more so that you are learning to master your emotions. Next up is meditation. Okay, my first best-selling book is a whole book about meditation. So I know a lot about it. I've been doing it now. This year makes 30 years of meditating every day. All right, there's a lot of different forms of meditation. And so I believe personally that there's no one right way. If you go to learn meditation, a lot of people will tell you, this is the way, this is the best way, whatever. But I've found just observing other people and being in classes with lots of people learning lots of different things, what really resonates with one person doesn't work at all for somebody else. So my suggestion is try a bunch of different kinds and find what really is easy for you. It's not effortful. It doesn't feel like drudgery. Just like when we say to people, exercise, you want to find something you enjoy, because otherwise you won't do it, right? Meditation is no different. If you meditate well, what were you going to say?
Well, we have a friend who is a blacksmith, and he finds that really the only time that he finds sort of the equivalent of a meditative state is when he's doing some sort of metal work.
Right.
He can work on stuff for hours, and it's the only thing that exists in his head, and that's what you ultimately want with a meditation practice.
Right. And just mentioning that sort of thing, people knit and have that experience, or crochet. I love to do adult coloring because you have to focus on these tiny little details, and it really does help focus your mind, but it's more relaxed. There's something very calming and relaxing about it. So it doesn't have to be sit there and and do all the classic meditation. These other activities are also very meditative. Okay, but something I wanted to say is that I've got some free meditations, and later on we're going to tell you how you can get those absolutely free. Something to try, me walking you through speaking over some music that helps slow down your brain into a more calm place. So that, again, is yet another way to control your emotions or master your emotions. Next up is CBD. So CBD is a plant-based product that really helps a lot of people who have things like extensive worry, anxiety, where they're just constantly in this sort of negative mood. Okay? For some people, this really makes a difference. I've tried it just out of curiosity, and I didn't really see a big difference for myself, but I meditate every day, so it's not really like I need the extra support with that. But like, I know someone who's very close to me who had severe anxiety, and they tried different forms of CBD, and finally they found one that if they take just a little gummy thing every day, it has really helped them control their moods. They don't get as anxious. If they do get a little anxious, it doesn't last nearly as long. Like, it's really made a profound difference. Okay.
So there's also that, which is potentially a good solution for you. Now, of course, we're not doctors. We're not recommending you take something. This is, optimally, you will consult your doctor before taking anything like this.
Right.
And also, depending on the issues you have, you also might want to consider seeking medication or therapy if it's really a serious issue.
Right. So, if you've been through some severe trauma and you can't get out of it, therapy, there's tons of different kinds.
Yeah, there's professionals.
There's professionals, and some of them are qualified to, prescribe medication. I'm not really into all that, but I've not had a problem where these other processes weren't effective enough that I needed it. Okay. I'm not saying don't do it if it's what you need. I'm saying listen to professionals.
Yeah, listen to yourself and listen to the professionals that hopefully you're consulting.
Right.
So,
but the bottom line is, without help from medicine or any of that, what we're trying to help you learn to do is master your emotions, because it really matters. If we get back to Elsie and what she said, the mood that you predominantly have will impact how much success and happiness you have in life for your whole life, okay? And that doesn't mean that you never have a bad time. It never means that if somebody very dear to you dies or something or is sick, that you won't get upset about that. That's not what we're talking about. Of course you'll get upset, and of course you'll have some bad days. But it's like the overall mood that you hold within yourself is one of possibility and positivity and hope, and therefore you can go after dreams and achieve them. Because if you're just totally in this negative, what I call a negative thinking spin, you're never going to get out of that long enough to go after things, because this positive mindset and this mood really matters.
And so what Mark Joyner has said about that is pessimism is a bad idea. That's just how you very quickly just close your options completely off, because even when there are opportunities, you don't see them.
Right.
Because everything sucks.
Right.
Blind optimism in the face of genuine adversity is going to just be ground down eventually into nothing.
Yeah.
So realism is probably the best option. Looking at the situation, how it really is, and then being optimistic about your ability to deal with that situation.
Right. To navigate whatever the world has sent your way, Yeah. All right.
As we've seen, the best way to achieve what you want is to consistently inundate yourself with positive and inspirational thoughts. Inside Russell Brunson's new Secrets of Success library and mastermind, you get access to Elsie Lincoln Benedict's How to Get Anything You Want training, all 14 volumes, 8 through 14, which are not available anywhere else in the entire world because nobody even knew they existed until he found them.
Right.
Plus a ton more stuff inside the portal and in our super bonus stack, like her best-selling book on achieving what you want, and those 2 guided meditations that we mentioned before. That's how you get access to them. That's it for this video. Be sure to come back for part 2 and learn about the other aspect of your life that you have to master to get what you want.
Indeed.
Because you made it this far into the video, we know you'll love our future videos just as much, so give this one a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.
Until next time.